Guys, today is the day of the Edge of Eternities debut stream, which I'm sure we're all very excited about. But before we talk about that stuff and what gets revealed, because that's going to be later on, I got to talk to you about this stuff, guys, because we've got a brand new article that's already showing some preview cards. I don't know if this is been released maybe a bit too early, ahead of time. They haven't realized this was supposed to be released after the stream, maybe, I'm assuming. But it's out now, guys. So let's have a little look at this article. We've got some brand new cards. We've got some art treatments, all that exciting stuff. So yeah, let's get into this article. Okay, so we've got the Tech Raptor preview here. So I'm not going to go through and read all this text. I just want to get straight into it. So first things first here, we've got these spacecraft cards. Now, there has been a lot of leaks on Reddit. I'm going to just assume maybe you haven't seen these cards on Reddit. So we've seen this Sarima, right? But these others are brand new. We've got the Eternity Elevator. You can tap it for free colorless and you can station it, and for 20 plus charge counters you can add X mana of any color, where X is the number of charge counters on it, so it'll be 20 plus. Straight away it's a legendary, so you can use this as your commander. It would be colorless, so you're gonna have to have an all colorless deck. This is for Eldrazis, guys. You know, if you want a big ass Eldrazi deck but have a commander that's not an Eldrazi, it's gonna give you all the mana you need to summon your Eldrazis even before it gets to station. You tap it for free colorless. So we got the Extinguisher Battleship. It's an 8 mana card. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, so anything, then it deals 4 damage to each creature. So it's like a small little board wipe almost for small things. If you get 5 plus charge counters on it, it becomes a 10/10 flying trample creature. Susar Secundi Void Altar and Euthyrus Titanic God Core. These are two of the new planet type lands. So these are all tap lands with station on them, and then they do super powerful things if you get their charge counters on them. The black one, for 12 counters, you can tap it, pay 1 and a black, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Very nice. And in the blue one, you can just tap it for a blue and add blue for each artifact you control. So this is going to be an artifact cares card. This is going to be a self-sacrifice creature, aristocrats, is that what you call it? I can't remember now. All of these lands, very common theme. They are very powerful, guys. They are very, very powerful. I think these are all going to see play in Commander. I'm super excited for them. Obviously, they do come in tapped. If you can afford to put the charge counters on them, slow yourself down for a little bit of more of a later game boost, then yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Especially in casual Commander, I think these lands are going to be super fun. What else do we have? Warp. So we're talking about Warp. We've got a load of new cards here. We got lots to go through. So we've got an Eldrazi card. All you Eldrazi fans out there. Now this Eldrazi card has the new Warp mechanic on it. When this creature leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield. So what does Warp do? So all of these cards have Warp. So basically with Warp, you can cast the card from your hand for its Warp cost, but then it gets exiled at the beginning of your next end step. So as soon as you end your turn, it goes boop, goes into the void, the Warp, whatever you want to say, and then basically you can cast it from exile later on. You can't do it for the Warp again because you can only Warp from your hand. So it's kind of like another sort of adventure type card where you're casting it and then you can recast it again, but instead of getting a different ability, you usually get a powerful ETB that you get to do twice. So for this Eldrazi, it's drawing you cards, then it's drawing you a card, and then you are putting a permanent card from your hand to the battlefield. Asteli Reclaimer, the card that everyone thought was Elspeth. It is not. This is just a recursion card. You're going to get stuff equal to the amount of mana you use to cast it. So when you cast it for its warp cost, you get something for 3 mana or less. When you cast it for 5, you get 5 mana or less. So yeah, it's nice. You're going to get 2 things from your graveyard. So a lot of value in this 5/4 flying angel warrior. Exalted Sunborn, flying lifelink. Here we've got another card that doubles tokens. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens you to create instead. We know that these cards are super popular in Commander, and they seem to just be wanting to keep printing them now because they know that they sell. It's a 4/5 flying lifelink on top of that with Warp, so you can get this out early. If you know you're going to be creating a crap load of tokens, you can just get this out for 2 mana, create those tokens, get the benefit from it. It's going to leave, and then yeah, comes back. We've got a new legendary creature, Halia Guided by Lights. It's mono white. Whenever Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, gain a life, and at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn, and you can warp her. So with the warp costs, it makes me think, you know, if a card has warp, probably don't want to play it as your commander because you're essentially just not getting to use that warp mechanic. So yeah, maybe you're not going to use this as your commander, but you have the option to if you'd like to. It's nice and simple, guys. Life gain, card draw, all that fun stuff. Starfield Shepherd. This is one we've seen. When it enters, search your library for a basic plains or creature card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And you can warp it, so you do this twice. So yeah, Soul Ring and a land, or Meko Nozoa. It's an artifact creature robot jellyfish. When this creature enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Warp free. So yeah, you get to stun 2 things. Nova Hellkite, 5 mana, flying haste. When it enters, deal 1 damage to target creature and opponent controls. 4/5 flying haste dragon for 3 mana, which is going to be pretty gnarly. Put the pressure on quite early, so that's going to be really nice and limited. Quantum Riddler. This is a mythic rare. When this creature enters, draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, if you would draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many +1 instead. This is just a really nice card to have. It just gives you some assurance, right? So if you ever run out of steam a little bit when you're playing, I don't think it's crazy, but it's a 4/6 flyer. You can warp it out for 2 mana, and when it enters you, it's going to replace itself anyway. So it's card draw because you're going to warp it and then you are going to bring it back. So you're going to get 2 cards out of it at the very minimum. Red Tiger McCann. Robot Cat. Has haste and warp. That's it. Nothing special. It's just a pressure card. Starfield Vocalist. Here we go. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. We have a Roman Throne for blue. Okay, so it's not colorless, so it's not as good as Roman Throne, but it does not require you to have a certain creature type. So yeah, I think we are probably going to start to see these cards start to come in each set in all different colors because they know the ability is very popular, people like it, and they want to bring it to decks that don't rely on creature types, clearly. So, and it has warp, so you can get it out on turn 2 if you need to trigger that. I don't know. Starbreach Whale flying. When it enters, surveil 2, and it has warp 2. So you get to surveil 2 twice. That is essentially, that's warp, guys. Leaves, comes back with an ETB, which is nice. We have got a new Goyf, a new Lurgoyf, guys. This card cares about cards in exile, so it's a different kind of Goyf. It doesn't care about the graveyard. It's interesting. So it's a Goyf that cares about cards in exile, so thematically it fits quite well. We are going to be having cards in exile. It's kind of one of the themes in this set with the whole warp thing, because you can essentially just keep warping cards, just keep putting them in exile. You don't have to cast them straight away. You can cast them later on. So if you do that, then this thing could potentially be quite big for just 2 mana. So this is, it's talk about the Void mechanic here. So a Void is another new mechanic on the Edge of Eternities that triggers if a permanent left the battlefield. So essentially if you're warping, it's a mechanic that cares about warping, but it doesn't have to be warping. So if we got some examples here. Void, at the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield or a spell was warped, then you create a 2/2 robot artifact creature token. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control do combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So, yeah, this is going to be a very nice commander card in general. We got a human cleric here. Again, just still seeing these strong fantasy vibes within this space set. I like to see it. And Tragic Trajectory is a 1 mana removal spell. That's good. That's even in commander, right? That's good. As long as non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn. So if you know you're consistently doing that, I could see you wanting to run this as a nice cheap removal spell. But if you don't have a consistent way of doing that, then it's not going to be worth it, because then otherwise it's just a -2/-2, which is not great. Okay, Lander tokens. Again, I think all of these are new. We've seen Lander tokens in the tease cards, the leaks, sorry, but we haven't seen these. So all of these create Lander tokens when they enter. A Lander token is just a token that you can sack, search your library for a basic land, put into the battlefield taps, okay? Flavorfully, you're putting your Lander in when you explore a planet to find some life. I think that's essentially how they're doing it. I don't know how those lander tokens are going to look. Are they going to be like little spaceships? I like the theme. So ramp decks, land cares decks, you're all going to love these new lander tokens. Okay, here we go. We have the Sliver card, guys. I said it in the video before. Here we go. This is what Mark Rosewater teased. The Thrumming Hive Pool. A 6-mana artifact with affinity for slivers. So if you've got lots of slivers, this card is not going to be very expensive. It gives all your slivers double strike and haste. And at the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 colorless sliver creature tokens, which are going to get all the benefits of all your other slivers. This is going to be a must-have for all of your sliver decks out there. No doubt they're going to have some amazing art. The flavor text here is fantastic. I will never escape this rock, but I fear they will. A decrypted log for 11. Wow. Guys, this has got to be the highlight card, right? Like, incredible. Incredible. We got some special treatments now. So, again, some of these are the cards we've already seen, like Nova Hellkite, Quantum Riddler, the Rust Harvester, and this Terra Symbiosis, I think, were leaked on Reddit. And then we got Mutinous Massacre. So, yeah, Mutinous Massacre. Well, first, let's talk about the art. I'll be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of these first look, these surreal space stuff. I think it's going to be very dependent maybe on an individual card, but I don't know. For me, when I'm looking at these, they're not really speaking to me too much. I'm not really getting too excited about them. But the cards themselves, Mutinous Massacre, this is the odd or even card that Mark Rosewater teased. It's a board wipe for whatever you choose, odd or even, and then you get to gain control of all of the rest of the creatures until the end of the turn. And they gain haste, and they untap. So, yeah, it's supposed to be pretty much a game-ending card, I'd say. The Rust Harvester, exile an artifact card from your graveyard, put a counter on it, then it deals damage equal to its power. So the more you do it, the more it burns. Seems like a really fun commander card in a artifact cares decks that's putting... Well, I'll just say it. This is going to go really well with Iron Man. I want to run this with Iron Man because Iron Man's sacking artifacts to get bigger ones, and then this is recycling the artifacts, essentially, or harvesting the trash, should we say, getting counters, and then dealing that damage straight to my opponent. So, yeah, it's already got me thinking, ooh, Iron Man burn, maybe? Terra Symbiosis. Yeah, this card is going to be very popular, guys. Whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature you control, you draw that many cards. Every 1/1 counter green deck is going to want to run this. We've got our special guest movie posters. They have come back, guys. I'll be honest, this isn't really in my era, so this doesn't do much for me. The cards themselves, we've just got some really old classic stuff. We've got the Sliver Overlord here for you Sliver players. I'm sure you'll be very excited about that. Magus of the Moon. Non-basic lands are mountains, like a blood moon, but on a creature. Run this if you want to lose friends. Nexus of Fate, an extra turn spell. Then we got our borderless poster Stellar Sight cards. We've already seen some of these. These are the special land cards that we're going to be seeing. These are all very exciting, all crazy art. I love the art for these Stellar Sight cards. I think these are really, really cool. Ones of note, especially Mana Confluence. If you don't know, guys, this is a land that can go in any deck. 3 colors and up, you probably want to be running a Mana Confluence. It's just pay a life and add mana of any color. It's brilliant. And then we've got even a legendary land, which works like the Leystones, where if they're in your opening hand, you get to play them. And that is all the cards that were revealed, guys. So yeah, we've got some pre-reveals before the big reveals. Yeah, some of this stuff, very exciting. I'm super, super happy to see these new planet cards. I think all of these are super, super cool. More spacecraft stuff. I'm still waiting for a spacecraft to really jump out at me for a card I want to use as a commander. But we've got some really, really powerful commander cards in here as well, like this Starfield Vocalist. That's a big one. The Exalted Sunborn. And guys, if you want to see me talk more about the Edge of Eternities previews that we've had so far, then go check out this video here.